Hello, everybody. Welcome to Green Vibes Podcast. And the Green Vibes Podcast is your channel if you want to know about sustainability, environmental, animal rights, vegan lifestyle, everything. This is your channel, okay? Good morning, Erica.
Good morning.
Say good morning, right? Now it's morning. Okay, today we are having here a new episode and with a very, very special guest. Right? Today we are here with Jenny McQueen. Hi, Jenny. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you so much for inviting me on. I'm very honored to be here.
Our pleasure. Thank you. I'm telling you, Jenny, for me, I think you are the top 10 activist here in Canada, right? I can see more people that are involved with all kinds of activism with animals rights and everything. So I'm pretty sure today we have a lot to tell us and we have a very good conversation today. Right, Jenny?
Yes.
So just start to introduce yourself, what really you do and when you start your activism.
Absolutely. So I'm formerly from the UK. I from Liverpool. And I started my activism in the 90s.
So how long have you been here in Canada?
I came in 2000.
Oh, it's not a long time.
Yeah.
If you see.
Yeah. Easy to do the math, like 23 years.
Yeah, exactly. It's a round number.
Yeah, so I became veg, then quickly vegan, and that was about 91. And then, I don't know, maybe a few years later, I started my activism with an animal rights organization in the UK. And I was also on the board of the Vegetarian Society UK, which was good because I was able to, influence policy a little bit there. And then I came to Canada and with PETA McQueen, we met in Thailand and came to Canada. And then I quickly searched out animal rights organizations back in 2000. And there weren't that many at that point.
At the scenario at that time, it was not too strong as today, right?
No, the main group that I found at that point was Animal Rights Collective. And we would do demonstrations against vivisection, animal testing, and we would do anti-fur demonstrations. And that was, and PETA as well.
PETA, yeah, exactly.
I recall one of my first demonstrations was in the winter, and I was asked to wear, fancy shoes and, fancy clothes. And I ended up standing in a litter tray at Young Dundas Square. We were doing, I think it was anti-fur protest. And I almost got frostbite. I didn't realize,
how cold it was.
How cold it was. The pain of my toes thawing after, standing in the cold winter for an hour. Yeah, so I've been active and then joining Direct Action Everywhere, probably about 2013. And then from then on, it's like really powerful disruptions, as well as powerful demonstrations and experiences with the Animal Safe movement.
Yeah.
Doing vigils, bearing witness.
So, and why did you decide to active in front of animals? Because you said that you become vegan in 91, right? And you started to fight for animals rights. So why did you decide to do this?
It seemed to be a natural progression, honestly. I care about humans too.
Right.
And I support,
yeah, exactly.
I support international organizations such as UNICEF and, Doctors Without Borders. But for animals, they're one of the most oppressed and voiceless in society. So I was very lucky way back in England that one of the council members for the Vegetarian Society was an animal rights organizer and in my area. So as soon as I went along and I heard about, what happens in the dairy industry, what happens in the egg industry.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that was the first experience. That's what, quickly swapped me to being vegan.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started along the animal rights journey, realizing that animals are hunted, ripped apart by dogs, then, you it just kind of widens out and you learn all these horrors. And, who is there to speak up for them? There's not many of us who are actually speaking up for animals. I mean, it's really improved in the last decade. It really has. But to me, it just seemed a natural fit that I could speak up for animals. I could, use my skills and, do what I could.
And did you find any challenge at the beginning? Because I think it's at the 90s or even the beginning of the 20s. It's very hard, right? Today, it's easy because you have internet, you have access to many places easier.
Yes.
But at that time, right, what's your challenge? What's your difficult for your activism?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds funny now, but, I was with one organization called Viva in the UK who was still amazing, doing fantastic actions. And to organize a demonstration, you'd get a letter that would, in the post, the postman would deliver it and you'd have all the instructions that they really...
And he delivered for everybody.
Yes, all the organizers across the UK. And you'd receive your instructions on paper. And it was a challenge. You didn't really do research apart from the magazines that you subscribed to. And that was then, the Vegan Society in the UK had a great magazine, and the Vegetarian Society had a great magazine that had me learn about the dairy and the egg industry. And then when the internet started coming in, it was like, oh my God, this is so, so good. Because,
You get more information easier, right?
Oh,
so
yes.
you can spread the information easier also.
Yeah. But the trouble is, I mean, all these, myths about veganism also spread.
Mm-hmm.
And it allows the animal agriculture and the meat, I'm going to do meat industry, to then spread myths. Plants feel pain, that kind of nonsense. Yeah, so it's a challenge too now, trying to address all those idiot thoughts that people have.
Yeah, and it's hard to see, for example, nowadays, right? The kind of information. Let's say when I was young, right? In my home, we was used to barbecue every weekend, right? But for me, as a young guy, for me it was normal, right? To eat any kind of meat. After internet, that you really realize where the meat comes. Where the milk comes, where all this beef comes. It's different.
But,
right?
but I think that you have two problems there. Because, example, for me, when I was a kid, it's the same culture, everything, but they have a strong culture and the tradition in your culture that people need to eat meat.
Yeah.
And I hate meat since my childhood, but my parents, like every parents that came with tradition. No, you have to eat meat. Oh my goodness, for me it's a nightmare because I don't like the taste. I never liked the taste. But you need, this is hard.
Yeah, that's something that comes that people put yourself that you have for your vitamins, that for you have your proteins, everything, right?
On this point, you have two problems: the tradition and the eat animals.
Yeah.
Where the meat? Oh my goodness, I forgot the word. Came.
Where they're made, how they're made, right?
How they made.
Yeah.
And another problem is the raising the kids, because the tradition is extremely complicated for the problem in the world with the animals.
Yes, but I had no idea about the plight of animals when I was growing up as a kid. You just didn't think twice about it. Animals were just, food on your plate.
Yeah.
And I had like domestic classes at school, and I remember, you'd see an image of a cow, but all you'd see is a line drawing with the names of the cuts on the cow. That's all I remember from school. I just didn't think twice about eating animals. I had no clue.
Exactly. We don't have to.
No.
And that's why I thought that even before it was worse, we thought internet, we thought see anything. And now we have even PETA. If you go to the Instagram website with her, they show what really happened inside the slaughterhouse for everywhere, right? Yeah. So we have this image. Even we can show for kids or young teenagers that when they see this, they can have a choice, right? They can choose today if I'm gonna eat meat or not. I love animals, like we love dogs, but how about the other animals, right?
Exactly.
We can have the more information.
Yeah, today.
And that's exactly why, like with direct action everywhere and with Rose's Law, and with the Save movement as well, getting the actual footage yourself. And then inside these horror shows, inside pig farms, inside, calling it these places farms is such a strange concept these days because let me show you something. Yeah. When I started doing the investigative work for the pig industry, then this is an industry publication that I'm showing you, and it's a Pigtails Fun Book. It's produced by all these different organizations. Let's read some of them out. Alberta Pork, BC Pork, Ontario Pork. And inside, they show bucolic images of, green fields and pigs having babies, like cared for with children playing around them. And, it's almost a crime what they're hiding.
And this book, it's where it's distributed?
Well, I printed that off from the Ontario Pork Council.
So it's easy to get access to this, right?
Well, it was in the past. Whether it still is, I don't know. But, I've actually taken that inside a small, respectable family farm. But in reality, these small family farms are now factory farms.
So this is a good point because I think why the schools don't teach everything for kids? Because I think the kids have the right to know from where came my food, example, the meat.
Yeah.
And they have the choice to choose, I will eat this or I don't eat this. So it's a choice, and you have to have education at school.
Yeah. I worked in the children's ministry in Ontario, and one of the programs that we looked at, kind of did research on was people taking actual babies into school kids. And they were trying to turn on the kind of the empathy gene, let's call it, and have children, understand that babies, have needs, they need caring for. And wouldn't it be great if they could be taken to a farm sanctuary as well and then see that animals are individuals, all with their own personalities, all with their own needs, all with their own intelligence, and then, kind of turn on the empathy towards animals too. It's so lacking in the school system, yes.
Yes, I think that this needs to change because we have a lot to change today in the education and about everything. Why not the animals? Why you can not bring this for school and you show for kids to have a choice to.
Yeah.
Have a lot today, and I think that we have so many information at school today, but we don't have it for the environment and the animals. When you talk about that, making that no, this cannot.
Right. Yeah. And I have friends who apply to go and talk in schools, and oftentimes they're refused.
They refuse it, right? Yeah.
Yet the dairy industry has their leaflets allowed in schools. So, what's up with that?
It's a brainwashing. The company's brainwashing.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
because the government support that.
Mm-hmm.
That is the problem.
Yeah.
So you talk about the government. How do you see that Canada today? The government is acting with the animals' right. There is many changes, I'm pretty sure, right? Many things that change. But since you started, are you getting support for them?
Well, the big thing in Canada is the Canada Food Guide. The last change, it was a massive change to it a few years ago. And luckily, they disallowed industry from lobbying really strongly the animal agriculture industry. So the food guide now has minimal animal ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about alternate proteins now.
Yeah.
But implementation of the food guide is really lacking. And there have been, there's an amazing politician in Canada, Nathaniel Erskine Smith, and he has a current proposal. They have a One Health policy, and within that bill that he's proposing, it's implementation of the food guide properly and, care about zoonotic disease. Obviously, we just went through and still are going through COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, fur farms are still in Canada. And, there's so many issues that need to be addressed seriously by government legislation.
Yeah, when you put some legislation, it's
right.
That's what really help, right? Because before of this, not that everybody do whatever they want, but it's like they are free to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any law that can stop it and do something wrong.
Right. And talking of laws, animal justice will tell you there's no actual law that protects animals within
exactly.
the walls of where they live. So people talk about, they suffer in transport, they suffer at slaughter, but they suffer their whole damn lives, from the time that they're born. I always think the babies are very, very lucky. They haven't got a clue what they're born into and what to expect. But, given a few months or a few weeks in the case of chickens, they're crammed into slaughterhouse trucks and then killed in horrible ways. And we're very lucky that the internet, we're all connected now worldwide. There's been footage coming out from the USA and coming out from Australia and even England now of gas chambers. And this is another industry secret. Just recently in Australia, they put out the recording of a minister saying, they basically just go to sleep. And footage is showing inside gas chambers of pigs writhing and screaming for air. How is this allowed?
Yeah, this is suffering for sure. Gas chamber, know what happened. They don't breathe, right? They die because they don't breathe.
The most unbelievable that's happening, they make the label that is normal.
Humane.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's human. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's totally human. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
In the most part of the population refuses to see that.
Well, they don't.
To believe that.
They don't know. I post videos. I went inside an old slaughterhouse in Toronto that had been closed down in 2014, and there's a gas chamber in there. To me, that is proof. Me filming, I live streamed while I was in there too. It's trespassing, obviously, but I live streamed, and it shows that the gas chamber is in Canada, and people don't even believe that.
That we have it, right? We still have it?
Oh, yeah. There's the gas chamber in Burlington, Ontario.
The one in Burlington?
And then there's one in Conestoga, near Guelph.
Mm-hmm.
And this horror show is happening every single day. Yeah.
And do you think, so you started here in Canada like in 2000, right? What's the difference when you start from now? Did it get better? Or it's very slow in your...
Well, I see massive improvements, not so much in the way animals are confined and abused. I don't see a change in that. Like gestation crates were supposed to be banned, I think, 2024, and now it's been extended to 2029 in Canada. But I do see a massive change. I mean, I watch TV and I see the word vegan permeating in society, in shows, in adverts for food. There's a pig in a car advert just recently. I see organizations springing up like the Good Food Institute and cell-cultured meat. I see vegan food everywhere. So there's been a massive explosion, I feel, of vegan food.
Yeah, vegan food, I saw that it get increased in even the grocer, the big grocers, right? Before you used to see just 4 feet, there were a couple products.
Right.
And now you go to the big grocer, you see 8 feet, 16 feet.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's bigger, it's getting bigger. Even the price, right? Maybe people think that, this is too expensive. No, if you compare vegan bacon, right, with the realer one, not much difference if you say about price. Right.
And you can find recipes online everywhere. Just
everywhere.
I always say to people, if you have a favorite recipe, just put the word vegan before it, Google it, and then there'll be a way of making it vegan. So honestly, there's just no need for animal protein anymore.
Yeah. And there is amazing food, right? I think it's funny. I was in the event where the company that are working at the beginning of the year. We were in the US, right? And one day they have a party, and everybody knows that I don't eat meat, right? And it was one of my colleagues. It was funny because she went to there. Kleber, there is potato there. You can eat. Kleber, there is potato here. You can eat. I said, hey, I'm not just eat potato.
Right. Yes.
That is more because everything that contains potato, she came to me and said, Kleber, you can't eat this. You can't eat this.
Oh, that's funny.
Because they was take care about me.
Yes.
90% of the foods, right, it's contain animal products. And we had the options for vegan, which is amazing, right? But it was funny because she came to me all the time and say, hey, here is potato, Kleber, you can eat. But vegan don't eat only potato.
No.
Options and options and options, right?
Right. And when they say you can't eat this, no, I choose not to. It's a big difference.
Exactly.
When I worked in government again, I would obviously get whatever caterer to, give the vegan option. And people would look at my plate in envy. They'd end up with some boring, animal whatever. And my plate would be colorful. It'd be healthy. Yeah.
It's pretty good. Yeah, and we said, I can see actually some improvements in the past years about this. And about your activism, right? What are you doing right now? Because you are with the Toronto Pig Saves. That's the one. Which one you work for now?
I volunteer.
At volunteer, yeah.
I'm really
all of them.
Yeah, exactly, all of them. And
because I saw you in many places.
Yeah. I'm really clear that I don't get paid for my time. I'm retired from the government, and I have done like background extra work. But the main thing happening right now is there's a trial in Quebec with Rose's Law, which is an offshoot of Direct Action Everywhere. It's a campaign where we want an animal bill of rights. So we want the right to rescue. And the right to rescue has been winning in the United States. There's been a couple of court trials there with Wayne Chung. And he's actually won a couple of cases now for right to rescue. So, back to the Quebec, we occupied a nasty, air quote, farm in near Montreal. And that was back in 2019, and the court case has taken a long time. We've been found guilty of break and enter, and very odd, but we've also been found guilty of obstructing a peace officer. So the sentencing is coming up on May 26. I've already been denied entry to the US, which is really quite concerning. And we're not sure what the outcome of the trial will be. I think the very worst will be a criminal record. And I'm really hoping that the younger and the kind of newbie activists, as they were at the time, do not get a criminal record because, upstanding people who care about a social justice issue being criminalized for having compassion. Yes, we trespassed to get the footage, but...
So this is the company, the slaughter company that is with you.
Well, it's the police and the Crown who take you to court and who...
Because they just said that you trespassing the place.
Well, they charge us with break and enter. So it could have been a trespass, but they upped it to break and enter. And then they the judge added the additional charge of obstruction too. But, the interesting thing is, we were accused of all sorts while being inside there. And the judge didn't believe any of the accusations of sabotage. And yet, the Canadian federal government is trying to introduce an ag-gag law across Canada. Mm-hmm. And they're repeating the lies of the industry that we sabotaged while we were in there. It's mind-blowing to me that Canadian politicians can do this, and at the same time profess their love for pork while talking about ag-gag. There's so much bias against us.
And do you think they are taking advantage of this? The big companies, the slaughter companies are taking advantage of...
Well, they must be in some way because
right?
The income that they produce... exports, etc., for the government of Canada.
Because I'm pretty sure that's
massive.
someone that wants to stop you, right? Mm-hmm. That don't want activists goes there to the front. Even for sure, you're not inside, but you are at the front with signage, show everybody,
we're
right?
Inside.
Right?
We're inside.
You was inside at that time.
Oh, yeah.
But the activism need to show,
right?
Need to show and go inside because the slaughterhouses don't want to show for the people how what is going on inside there with the animals. If the activists don't go there and to show for population what's going on,
it's not the slaughterhouse; it's the farm itself.
Even the farm,
going inside the farm, I feel is really important too.
Yeah,
because then, like I said earlier, people know. Generally that slaughterhouses are nasty places, but they don't also know that, farmers who profess love for their animals, pig, air quote, farmers, if you could see, and this is what I do, I take people inside. And on the first court case that I had for a pig farm, the Crown decided to drop the charges. I wanted to go all the way and have a full court case, because then it would reach the media and reach the general population. And that's the whole idea of, civil disobedience, that you reach a wider audience and you hopefully change, society in some way.
Yes.
But the charges were dropped. And talking of industry, they were so angry about the charges being dropped. And I think that, as well as, Anita Crines giving water to the thirsty pigs.
Yeah, right.
That, on top of my action, then, as well as Malcolm Klimowitz doing the mink farm exposés, all of these actions together directly, I think, influenced animal agriculture, influencing governments to introduce ag-gag bills in Canada. Mm-hmm. So Bill 156 was introduced. And Regan Russell, we have to mention her.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Her very last post was about Bill 156 being evil. And then the next day, she was killed, bearing witness to pigs at the slaughterhouse.
Yeah, because I see that sometimes it's hard, right? It's a hard job, not job, but a hard action that you have to. We recently have a conversation here with Paul Watson, right? The Captain Paul Watson,
Yes.
and he's facing the same problem with justice, everything. So he cannot come to Canada, right? Came back to Canada. He was born here, and he cannot come in here because his activism in the oceans, because he's tried to fight with hunting, dolphin huntings, everything that happened. And he told us he never hurt anybody. He never steal any products. He never damage any property.
Yes.
Right.
This is the exactly thing happens with Sephora. Do you remember that
Yeah,
we talked with her?
Sephora
And
also.
she was defending the trees. And she's guilty for that. It's unbelievable.
It doesn't make sense, does it?
No, that's something that not makes sense. That's why I think, maybe I'm wrong, that the big ones, the big companies that make a lot of money, right? They try to stop you, right? And somehow they try to find a way to stop you to go to do the activism, to show what really happened inside this house, inside the farms, inside for everywhere, right? Because it's much money, right? That's involved in this,
Oh, huge amount of money.
right?
I mean, I'm also very glad that some of the big companies now are exploring plant-based meats.
Exactly.
So Light Life Bacon, let's put it in air quotes. Light Life Bacon is a product from, I think, Maple Leaf Foods. So, I think these big companies have got to realize that killing animals for food is just not sustainable. I mean, for the environment,
For the environment, exactly.
for public opinion, when we start exposing how it all happens. But, for the environment, if you don't care about your own health, if you don't care about animals, then maybe you care about the environment. And
About
then,
our planet too.
But about everything.
Yeah, about everything.
Because I don't understand how the governments think, because if you eat animals, you have a lot of problems connect with that.
Well,
Example, the animal agriculture have the problem with the environment, with the water, with the pollution, that go
Yes.
with the people that work in there, maybe get sick. After that, the packaging that is totally wrong. And after that, go to the market, the people eat them, maybe have some diseases because the meat get bacteria, and the virus, and even the bird flu. It's the same problem.
Yeah.
The people, the general people don't get the right information. And sometimes the bird maybe get the bird flu. But don't think that if I stop to eat animals, I stop the flu.
Disease to
the
spread
disease
the
to
disease.
spread.
yeah.
So you have so many things connected in the animal agriculture, because even the feelings, animal feelings. Many people don't believe that the animals have feelings. So you need to make it this close for the general peoples and show for them. Okay, this pig, this cow, this horse, all them have feelings.
Yeah,
Well, looking into the eyes of mother pigs, behind you I placed a picture that I took of a pig in a gestation crate in Ontario. And in Quebec, I sat in front of pigs in a specific pig. I was sat in front of a specific pig. And, we make eye contact, and the misery in her eyes, she can't turn around.
I can see. Yeah, I'm seeing here the picture that you sent, like this one,
Yeah,
right?
one of the team took these pictures. But honestly, the misery in their
So sad
eyes
to
and
see
the
The pigs is like dogs. If you have
they
a dog
act
at home,
Yes.
the pigs is like the same.
yeah. And let's talk about the workers, because you mentioned the workers. In the trial that we had, one of the workers came and stood on the witness stand, and they were having problems finding workers because they were flying them in from Ghana, and you find that it's perhaps, underprivileged people who are taking these jobs and the conditions that they're expected to work in. I've been inside, 2 different places now, and the ammonia in the air, the dust in the air, the fire risk when they're working, and then they have to deal with afterbirth, like the mother pigs will give birth and there's like feces and there's dead piglets and there's afterbirth, and people have to clean all that up and, bash the small piglets who aren't thriving against the concrete.
I can't manage like scenario like this. Should be very bad.
It's criminal treating humans this way and having them work in these places.
Yeah, the workers that have many problems that I think the PETA so many years ago make something like that, talking about the workers that stay in these jobs, because some of them becomes the serial killers in USA, because the environment in this job is so bad that change their mind, the people that's there.
Yeah.
So the people not become crazy, but it's totally messing the mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. I think that this job is bad because what you was doing there is not human. It's a terror movie.
I don't know how to describe it. Also,
it's very bad for the mind, for the health, and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And the other types of factories, up from the cow slaughterhouse in Toronto, there's a leather factory, and people wear leather as though, this is natural, this is a good product. But when you see the vats of chemicals that the skins are placed into, and when you smell the awful smell coming from inside that factory, and that's in Toronto. And then when you consider that these factories as well are in other countries, with less protection for the workers.
Exactly. Imagining how it was.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
The whole animal industry is disgusting. I campaign against fur too. And, people think it's a natural product. And when you consider the chemical soup that cures, air quotes, the fur, and the fact that humans, again, are working with this, it's just exactly like leather, isn't it? Like the leather industry, it's skin, but with the fur attached. And that yet, the fur industry has managed to get fur back into general society by putting it as trim. And again, the public honestly don't know. They're sold these products. And if they could look at the horror story behind what they're purchasing, I'm convinced that like 95% of the population would not support.
For sure. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how the activism, that's our goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the activism to show for the populations, to show for the people, general people.
And today have a lot of options that you don't need your animals anymore.
Yeah, we have the option. We have very good options about food, about clothes, about everything that you have. You don't need to get for the animals.
Yeah, sometimes the people think that I need animals. Okay, so you left everything that you have, the technology that you have, and everything that you have. Go to the how the name the
cave.
The cave, and live in there, and you hunt. You need everything there, but forgot everything. Do you have it now? And go to the cave and live there.
Yeah.
So it's exactly the point that you need to show for the people.
Mm-hmm.
If you get today you have a lot of things, technology,
yes.
And another things, you don't need the animal anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Even for tests, even to eat, even for clothes, you don't need.
You have the options, right?
You have many options. Even to eat, you have so many edible things to eat. But the humans just
potatoes.
I love potatoes.
Me too. I don't complain. I'll never forget this. I ate a lot of potatoes that day. I said, okay, I'm full. I don't need more potatoes. I'm good.
I'm serious.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Bangers and mash is a thing. And, a vegan sausage and a bit of mashed potato and gravy. Can't beat it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so funny because sometimes even my childhood, I never liked the meat, but in my native country, the mainly is the right word, I think. I don't know. So even so, we eat rice and beans there, and this go. You can meet everything in the rice and in beans because everything is so good. So all the time, rice, beans, oh my God.
Vegetables?
This, I never can.
Some greens.
Yeah.
Some greens.
Some greens. Perfect.
Some greens.
Yeah.
And if this it tastes so good, why I need the meat?
Yeah.
Any meat. Don't
And our
need.
traditional plate there is rice, beans, meat, and fries.
Yeah.
It's pretty. Everybody go there. Oh, okay, have to eat rice, beans, meat, and fries.
Yeah. And the thing
Beef,
that...
not meat, beef and fries.
The thing
don't make sense,
Right.
It
Change
really,
this one for the greens instead.
Right.
Much better.
And the thing that kills me is you see these ads on TV and they're not content now with just one animal in a sandwich. They have to add, like pig, cow,
Yeah.
dairy in the burgers that are advertised. It's just like, come on. The excess of animal consumption in some, fast food joints is just so disturbing.
It's so strange that when you don't grow up with these thoughts in your mind, what's happening with my son? We have the same experience with him like me. That when my son was growing, he don't like milk, cow milk. All the time he likes soy milk. So in his childhood, is a very. Do you remember that all the people come to us? But it's wrong. Is your son is drinking just soy milk? It's bad for him. Oh my goodness! All the time I go to the doctor, I go to my son don't drink cow milk, just soy milk.
Sometimes we feel guilty. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, right?
And until today,
No, you're doing it totally right.
Yeah, but
Now we see that. Hey,
Yeah.
I was not crazy. They was crazy.
it's so hard when you're growing the right. For you is the right way, but the big population say, no, you are wrong. Oh my goodness, what I am doing wrong? Even today, my son prefer plant-based than the animal because my son is not vegan, but she don't like many options that the animal that have there. My daughter is vegan, but my son not. But he's like to more vegetarian than eat meat.
Yeah, we'll try. We'll slowly try.
But
that must be a bit tough
But
for
the-
you, to be honest.
the funny thing that he never liked the milk cow.
Yeah, the milk never.
Never.
Since when he was born.
Yeah,
And the people
good.
all the time, no, you don't not do that. We don't need to
Right.
change.
Well, it's like you not liking the taste of animal flesh. I mean,
But is it exactly that we need to stop? Because I think we as parents sometimes that make the brainwashing, the tradition so messy with us that you go to your grandpa, your parents, someone have to always stop. They have a choice.
yeah,
Stop here.
yeah, exactly.
Just go. Let it go. If your child, if your son, if your wife, and someone close to you make the choice, okay, respect that.
Well, the thing about choice is people say, well, let me have my choices. Well, when it comes to the animals don't have any choice.
Don't have
Yeah.
choice.
Exactly.
Yeah. I always try and swap the conversation back to that. And, it's like when you, like animals were made for us, when you have, people with religious beliefs. Well, did your God expect that we would torture animals before you eat them? Confine and abuse them and mutilate them and test on them? I don't think so.
No, for sure.
There's an argument against anyone who thinks that it's okay to use and abuse animals. Honestly, there is. Science has come a long, long way. Animal testing, no need for it.
No.
Yeah,
All
so-
technology that
No.
is we have it today, there's no need to use animals for this.
I told you this one time in the conversation, another episode, that when we study in university, you use the animals yet.
Yeah.
And one time I failed because I stay out for the class because you need to test, to open the mice there.
Yeah.
And I refused, and the teachers told me that I failed. But today you don't need to do that.
Good for you for taking a stand.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I
Yeah, because
I-
she started
yeah.
university. I'm a pharmacist, and
okay.
and she started the university as a pharmacist, but she stopped in the first year because of this.
Wow.
Because the animal, because we have to, and he did it. I did it right at that time
Yeah.
when I was in university. We opened the mice, we opened the habits that we have different animals just to see.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
We open. Hey, that's it. Okay, and that's it. It's that.
And
That's no. I don't
We
know
did.
how's the university is doing today. Nowadays, I'm not sure if they're still using animal tests. I think we have one guest here. They
Yeah.
told that is still
It's
used,
still-
right?
it's still. In
Even
Toronto,
the
it's
Oh, yeah.
still.
University of Toronto, they are using animals.
Absolutely. There's a campaign, Toronto Anti-Vivisection. There's a group that's TABA that you can campaign with. So many groups in Toronto who are doing great work,
Yeah.
against, the abuse of animals. Yeah.
I don't need. We don't need this.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we study many years ago.
Yeah,
To
this was back in 96, 97.
Yeah, and on this time we have used the real human bodies.
laboratory.
Now
Yeah.
it's not anymore. It's the same with the animals.
Yeah.
You need to stop. You don't need this anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why you can't change for the humans for the similar and
Not
continue
for-
with the animals?
Not for animals, right? Yeah.
Maybe
It's
I can just touch on, because I do kind of dramatic actions a lot of times, but as well,
Sometimes you have to be dramatic, right?
yeah, but I also want to touch on everyday activism that is accessible for anyone. I produce a business card.
Awesome.
It doesn't have my name on, but it's something that is super friendly that people can give out. So I'll be walking along the street and I'll see someone walking a dog and I'll say, hey, you're an animal lover, and I'll give them a card. And some of the organizations on the back that you can support and volunteer with, I think becoming active is really important. I mean, being vegan is great, but speaking up for animals is superb.
It's amazing.
It's so needed.
It's good for us,
Yeah.
right? It's good
Yeah.
for. So how the people can contact to know about here for all this?
Well, the big thing is animalrightstoronto.com. We have an events calendar on there.
Okay.
And then we're like an umbrella organization for this. I'm one of the co-founders. And we have, a brilliant admin who works the Facebook page. And we have another lady who's the technical whiz. And we have an events calendar with all the organizations submitting events to it. So I'd say join an event, who's active on the streets. Anonymous for the Voiceless is very active in Toronto. Absolutely excellent outreach. You show footage via a TV screen, and we have, outreachers around us doing that. Join a vigil with the Animal Save movement. Get involved with the plant-based treaty. Do your research. There's plantbaseddata.org, which has been put together by Toronto medical professionals. And then Direct Action Everywhere, Disrupt with us. VegTO has festivals. We the Free is active. ZooCheck is campaigning for animals confined. Animal Justice does fantastic work.
Fantastic job, yeah.
Honestly, there's so many opportunities for people to get active. And I actually send out the card to activists too. All you need is a Vistaprint account if you want to edit it.
Perfect.
And I'll send the design out to people. There's a card as well for campaigning against fur. On Animal Rights Toronto, we created a page.
So here, when the people goes here on the website, there is a date, right? The calendar with all the days that you're.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So guys, let's enjoy this one. Even if you are not vegan, you don't need to be vegan, right, to join us. Just come to get knowledge.
Yes.
What happened, what the activists are doing, right? What's the job, right? What really the activism doing, right? Maybe some people doesn't know, just think that you just raise a signage and that's it, right? It's not. So if everybody...
It can be that, though. That's the thing. It can be that.
Even.
People can just come and everyone is welcome. And you can start off by just holding a sign. Or you can even attend a Cube of Truth and not even let us know that you're interested. You can just come and watch what we do and watch some of the footage.
And it's very important. Everyone knows about getting the information and to make your campaign even as you can. As me, sometimes I cannot go in the many marches that they have in Toronto because sometimes I am not feeling very well because my disease. But all the time I am in social media making the campaigns and getting the information. All my posts is a lot of the information there. I think everyone can do something.
Yes.
As small as...
Just one step. Right?
Exactly. And I support, you call it kind of armchair activism. That's great too.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you're confined to home, you can still write letters to the editor. You can still share, you can go on Animal Justice and share their campaigns. You can, sign petitions to the Ontario Parliament
sign the petitions is very important.
It's very important.
And from Toronto, Fur Free Toronto, we have a petition. We have letters that you can send to Liberal MPs in the Ontario Parliament. We're campaigning with End Fur Farming Ontario. We're campaigning against, the whole fur industry in Canada. So there's so much that you can do. You can be at home using your design skills.
Yes. Even when I am working, I all the time I get some opportunity to talk with some employee and show what's happening. Do you know that?
Good.
Yes.
It's nice. Exactly.
Yes.
It's good. Okay. Anything else? Do you want to complement with anything else, Jenny?
Let's see. Did I miss anything? Oh, there's demonstrations coming up. I mean, Marineland opening day is coming up. So, I'd say check out the calendar. Look at, we do Zip Off the Cruelty. We take donations of fur and we give it to wildlife sanctuaries, and we give it to, the fur has actually ended up in Ukraine through PETA. What else is there? Just get involved. There have been successes. There have been massive successes. Like Canada Goose has dropped real fur.
Yeah, exactly.
Hudson's Bay, that's massive news. In Canada has dropped fur. So don't always think that the situation is awful. Look for the successes. Enjoy some time in nature. De-stress whenever you can.
That's perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else, Erica? You're good.
That's okay.
So I think Jenny was amazing. Maybe if you stay here, you're going to be here for the whole day. Talk about this. I love it. This kind of conversation.
Thank you. Thank you for doing what you're doing. I mean, podcasts are a great way to reach people.
Yeah, we try. That's why we are here. We are not here to point to say you are doing wrong. You are no, just to show for the general peoples, even the people that already has experience, right? A little bit, we bring different peoples with environmentalists, activism, vegan, even musicians that has a vegan lifestyle. We already have here. So it's a little bit for each one, right? They share their experience.
Yeah.
And
new information is coming.
New information,
all the
everything.
time.
Yes.
Right?
Super.
So it was a pleasure to have you today here with us. Thank you so much for coming. Right?
Thank you both. I'll look forward to watching your future episodes too. You know, I'm very excited by your work. So thank you.
Awesome. And thank everybody for watching and people that are listening through the podcast. Thank you so much. Just a heads up that we have a new website, right, Erica?
Yes, www.thegreenvibes.ca.
Yes, so there we are growing. We are having now our organization, the Green Vibes, right? Which here we have the podcast, we have so many different activities, right? So people that want to know a little bit more, go there, thegreenvibes.ca, right?
Yeah.
And you can find a lot of information. Okay?
Superb. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
you.
Thank you, everybody. See you. Bye.
See you.
Bye.